Chancellor Naro of the Coalition Defense CDs struggled to stay awake as he waited in the dimly lit council chamber. It was the middle of the night, and he was less than pleased to have been summoned from his sleep. He hoped the reason for this emergency meeting was worth it. As he fought off sleep, the Supreme Chancellor Varric entered the room, followed by 6 other beings. Naro recognized 5 of them as high-ranking military officers, which immediately made him uneasy. It was rare for even 1 or 2 of them to attend a council session, let alone all 5. Something serious was going on. The Supreme Chancellor called the meeting to order. "I apologize for waking you all, but this matter is urgent," he began. Then he gestured to one of the officers, Fleet Admiral Zoran. "Fleet Admiral, please share with the Council what you told me." Zoran stepped forward and introduced a new figure, Legat Mira Kar, the head of military intelligence. She approached the room's holo imager and activated it, displaying a map of the Coalition's territory. She zoomed in on a specific area near the Coalition's border with unclaimed space, Sector 1526. This sector bordered the territory of a relatively new member of the galactic community, the Terrans. They had only been known to the galaxy for about 100 galactic years GY. The Terrans were generally peaceful, preferring trade and diplomacy over warfare. However, underestimating their military capabilities had proven to be a grave mistake for those who tried. The galaxy learned it the hard way when the Trax, another species, attempted to conquer them. Despite the Trax' superior technology, the Terrans' knowledge of warfare leveled the playing field, leading to a swift and unexpected end to the conflict. The Trax were forced to negotiate peace, and instead of demanding reparations, the Terrans offered to pay for the systems they wanted, gaining strategic borders and lucrative trade routes. Now, as the map zoomed in closer, tension filled the room. But the system highlighted on the map, T57 to 284, wasn't near Terran space. It was one of the Coalition's own systems, home to several small colonies. "They're gone," said Fleet Admiral Zoran grimly. "Not destroyed or occupied, eradicated. Every trace of life, organic and non-organic, has been wiped out, leaving only sterile soil and rocks." The room erupted in shock and confusion. "What did this?" one of the council members asked. Zoran called for a secret file to be displayed. A dark comet-like object appeared in the holosphere. "This file is one of our most guarded secrets, known only to the High Command. Over a century ago, we discovered a derelict ship from unclaimed space. It carried a warning about something called the Scourge." He paused, letting the gravity of his words sink in. "The Scourge is a horde of mechanical life forms that devours everything in its path. Organic matter is used as energy, while metals and other materials are turned into more of these machines. The ship's database spoke of trillions of them, consuming everything in their part of the galaxy." Zoran pointed to the dark comet. "This image, captured by one of our observation drones, matches the description of the Scourge. It's heading toward our space, and current estimates suggest it contains over a quintillion of these things." Chancellor Naro, stunned by the sheer number, asked, "What can we do to stop it?" The Fleet Admiral shook his head. "We can't stop it. We can only try to delay it, evacuate our people, and go dark to avoid attracting them. We've warned the Terrans as well." The room descended into chaos as the reality of the situation set in. Suddenly, the Lega whispered something to the Fleet Admiral, causing him to shout in surprise. "They're doing what?" The room fell silent as the Fleet Admiral apologized and explained. "The Terrans have begun broadcasting massive amounts of artificial signals from one of their border systems. They're luring the Scourge toward them." The Supreme Chancellor quickly ended the session, urging everyone to keep the situation secret to avoid widespread panic. 20 days later, the situation was no better. Chancellor Naro entered the council chamber, weary of the constant briefings on the Scourge. The Fleet Admiral updated the council on the approaching threat, the evacuation plans, and the deployment of observation drones. But just as the briefing began to drag on, The legate approached the fleet admiral with urgent news. "They did what?" the fleet admiral exclaimed. "Are you sure?" The legate showed him a datapad, and the fleet admiral's face turned pale. "Chancellors, I have important news. The Scourge has reached a Terran system, and the Terrans, they destroyed it." The room erupted again, but the fleet admiral raised his hand for silence. The Terrans set a trap. They lured the Scourge into the system, and then they caused their star to go supernova, destroying everything. Stunned silence filled the room as the implications of what the Terrans had done sunk in. They had the power to destroy a star. The Supreme Chancellor asked, "Do we know how they did it?" The fleet admiral replied, "They claim it was a one-time event, something they called an ancient Terran secret." They refused to explain further. The meeting ended with the council deeply shaken, realizing that the Terrans were now the most formidable power in the galaxy.